Hey everybody, this is Ericka from the Classy Climb blog. Today we have another one of our interviews. We have Aundrea Smith, I might be messing it up, but of Spit Honey, and she has a really great new book out, but we just want to bring her on and talk about her life and some of her experiences. I think it'll do a great service to the audience today. So everybody, this is Aundrea.
Andrea.
Okay, everybody. So Aundrea, thank you for coming on today. Please hold up this nice new book you have. I just definitely want to show the audience.
This is it for the quiet Black girl trying to find her voice in a predominantly white space.
So what prompted you to write that book?
Well, my own life experiences, I felt that something was kind of holding me back from being the person that I wanted to be, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, but once I decided to take the time to reflect on everything that I went through, it was my experience being one of either a handful or the only person of color in a room. Going through my entire education experience, I was, up until college, I was really just the only one, or one of, like I said, a handful, kind of trying to navigate the space. And hearing the comments that people say, really, those comments entered into who I am right now in my adult life, my inability to kind of express myself fully, or not wanting to state my opinion, not wanting to cause any waves or make a scene. Just wanted to kind of hold back just because I wasn't fully comfortable with myself. And I wanted to write something to help my own healing. But then I knew that once I put this out there, I would met with some people who probably had similar experiences.
Right. I think we have a lot of people moving. They're already in suburbia America, but they might be moving further out or going to private schools. I also went to a Black private school that was pretty cool. And like they took us golfing and fishing and all this other stuff. And the experiences being like, you guys are here? What are you guys doing
Right.
at the private Christian area event? And so I can definitely feel that. I've had that happen. I also went to a predominantly white college, and the funny thing, I'd be in a room with people who are like, African Americans are getting to school for free or discounted, and you go, no, that's where are you getting this information? But you're the only person there to speak up, so it forces you to be this representation.
Exactly, and that's a difficult position to be in consistently. And after a while, that really pays a toll, because like when you're constantly being looked at as, okay, so now you need to speak for all Black people, you're like, wait a minute, I don't want to speak up right now. I just want to kind of be observant and reflect and just be part of the conversation and not feel like I need to take on this big role. So that's another reason why I wanted to get that out there too, so you can hear that perspective.
Yeah, and I think this is so important because there are a mix of all kind of ladies out there, right? Because I was part of a military family and we lived in Alaska, and we were the only family in this one little village for a little while. And it does shape people's interactions with you and how people talk to you. So I think it's important. So I love your story. And so it's like Spit Honey reminds me of the South. It just does. I'm from the Carolinas. And there is this kind of movement in America where it's a really harsh environment. I'm a YouTuber. There's some other people I know on YouTube who just deal daily with very harsh, hateful comments. We hear a lot about bullying in school from kids. And some of the stuff I read on your site, explain to me some of your mission.
Well, with Spit Honey, I was tired, like you said, of going on social media, clicking on someone's picture, and like my mistake for reading the comments, but I would
read the comments.
And I'm like, it can be someone with their kids or someone on vacation, whatever it is. It can be the most pleasant picture. But then you hear or you see and you read these hateful comments. And I'm like, why would you even want to go there? This is someone just showing you a little piece about, their life and who they are. And then you go to that hateful place. And I just wanted to create a space, a website, a mission, a movement that was in the opposite direction. I wanted people to experience things that were positive and have uplifting messages go through their feed. And that's just what it's about. I just want people to feel good about themselves so that they can project that onto other people. And then hopefully the world would take that on and become a better place.
I love the Spit Honey because I think about a lot of people who they just want to put something positive out. And I think long-term positive wins. I think you're seeing not the collapse, but you're seeing some of the people in public radio and TV who kind of got on for being that, oh, I'm gonna eat people up.
Exactly.
They're kind of going away. And I
Right.
think the pendulum kind of swings backwards and forwards a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
And there's another part of your story I want you to share with the audience is while you were pregnant, you found out some really life-changing news.
Yes. And I think honestly that when I was 7 months pregnant with my daughter, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I found the lump in my throat. And what's interesting about the situation, I had found a lump in my throat several months before, and I went to a doctor and I was like, this does not feel right. Like, is there anything I should be concerned about? And the doctor was like, nope, I think it's just a swollen lymph node. So I didn't do anything with it. But then when I became pregnant, it started to grow, and I went back to the doctor, and when the doctor goes, something is not right. So they immediately sent me to another specialist who then checked me. I had a biopsy right away. And I was diagnosed with salivary gland cancer when I was pregnant. And it was definitely a difficult situation, but I do think being pregnant kept me sane because I wanted to make sure that I was calm and healthy for my daughter. So I really just tried not to think about it so much. I just wanted to make sure that I was able to deliver her, because that was part of the piece that was a little bit troubling, was whether or not I would have to be induced and then go straight into surgery to have my salivary gland removed, or would I be able to go full term and then have my surgery afterwards. But luckily I was able to go full term, and then a month and a half later I had one of my glands removed and some lymph nodes and surrounding tissue. And then it's been like 3.5 years and I'm cancer free.
Yes.
So I mean, twice a year I still go get checks, and it's still kind of always going to be on my mind. But experiencing that really let me know that I have a purpose here, and really God has placed me here and has kept me here so that I can fulfill this purpose of spreading positivity and uplifting people who need to be uplifted.
Right. That's like mother's love. Like, you're like, I need to be calm for this person that is just along for the ride, That's amazing. And I'm a very big believer in mindset, the changing of mindset, positive thinking, what you tell yourself. People don't believe it, but I've heard people say things like, I could just kill myself, or I could just, I think I could die, or, I just can't do this, or I'm ugly, and I go, you're talking to yourself.
Exactly.
That way.
Exactly.
That's the scary part, right?
Right. Because we all deserve those positive affirmations. Like, we want to put that out into the world, but if we don't believe it for ourselves, then we can't put that positivity out there. So absolutely. Yeah.
Then every time I meet someone who has cancer or experienced cancer, I'm like, does that not even just push you to live life like no one's guaranteed tomorrow? Exactly. Live life to the fullest. Exactly. And so I like that. I went on your website. I'm like, I'm gonna go buy something. You are sold out of shirts. You're sold out of notebooks. You sell. What is this Black Friday run out? What happened?
I'm like, everything has really caught me by surprise. I was not expecting what has happened so far with this movement and everyone's enjoyment and love for it. And I mean, even if I get one comment a day from a post that I made, like, that just makes me feel so great that whatever I said was able to impact someone in a positive way. I just remember one of my coworkers said to me the other day, my husband was on your Instagram page and there was something that you posted and he was having a really bad day at work and he read what you posted and that just totally turned his day around. I was like, that's exactly why I want to do what I do, because I want to shift people's mindset.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people write on social media, I'm going to die with student loans. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You have to, the words you say out of your mouth are so important. Exactly. Or this old saying, make your words soft and sweet because you might have to eat them. And your grandparents are like, be nice, Exactly. And that's why I said it reminds me of the South. It's a very much like, you just can't yell at people and do whatever you want. Like, life has consequences. And so I'm glad for your success. I love that. I love that somewhere in the world, people have Spit Honey shirts on. They've got Spit
I
Honey,
know, it's so great.
books. They're doing it, right?
Right.
What are some of the things you see for yourself in the next like 2 to 5 years with this movement? Maybe
Right.
a book or
Yeah, well, I have a children's book in the works. So I would definitely love to move forward with that. But my goal is to have more opportunities for me to speak in front of young people. I mean, I am currently an educator, but I do want to really focus in on girls of color because they're the ones that I'm noticing right now that are speaking so negatively towards themselves. And I want to be able to reach them and have them understand that there is a different perspective that they can have about their lives and the people that are around them. But I really do hope to speak, whether or not it's large venues or small, it doesn't make a difference. I want to have a group of girls in front of me that I can talk to and just have conversations with and kind of see what they're dealing with and hopefully help push them in a more positive direction.
For sure. I think there is something in the combination of food and exercise and like there's something about walking every day and being outside, and I think we're all lacking from a little bit of a little bit outside, a little bit of good food, a little bit of positivity, right? Yeah. And I know I don't want to be like all hippie because I live in Austin, Texas, and everybody thinks we're a bunch of hippies here, but there is something about way you talk to yourself that's so important. And so I really am glad that you're doing that because it's something happening to people, especially from, I'd say 12 to 19, that self-talk is so important, right? And how they talk to each other.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But there's something that my daughter and I started saying before she goes to bed. And she's 3, but she said, I am kind, I speak with purpose, and I love who I am. And so like she says that, and if I forget, she's, Mommy, I didn't say my kind words before going to bed. So, I mean, just starting with that foundation, I just want to make sure, that both of my children, I have a son who's 6 years old, but just making sure that how they feel about themselves is accurate, and they're pushing themselves to be positive human beings, and they can give that light off to other people.
Right. So I'm looking forward to you putting together a workbook is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Free to speaking at some schools. I'm looking forward to it. Here's some of the things I'm thinking. As a teacher,
right,
how much impact do you think you have on students, right? They go home to these environments, they're in classrooms, there's bullying. What can you as a teacher do, right? Because sometimes people say, I'm just one person, what can I do?
Right. Honestly, the way that I live my life and how I speak to my students, I think is the most important thing for me to do is model the behavior that I'm expecting from them. So if they see that I'm going to speak to them with respect, I expect that back. If they see that I'm speaking to them with kindness, that's how they should be speaking to me and to their peers. So just me being who I am and trying to be my best self, I think that they're able to see that, and hopefully they're wanting to embody that as well, because they're seeing that I am a happy person, I am a hardworking person, and I want that for them. And I do say that to them. I say, I see, the good in you, but you need to work harder in this area. So it's like it's like that tough love. But if they can see what I'm doing and model what I'm doing, that's just my only hope. And yes, I am one person, but I'm one person who I truly believe can touch individuals.
Yes.
So, mm-hmm.
Yes, that's very, very good. Now, I read this article and I said, I got to ask her because, she's married, she's got the kids.
Right.
It was an article and it kind of touched me because I felt sad for people who think this way. But in the article, it says women should stay single if they want to run businesses and write books and do all that. And here I am talking to you, a married woman. Your parents are probably very happy. And what has been the feedback from your spouse and your family in this process?
Right. My husband has been supportive from the very beginning. When I came to him with this idea, it was 2 years ago, and I was like, I have this great idea and I want to start this business. And he's like, okay, do it. That was it. So clearly I have a great supportive partner. But yeah, he's been great through the whole entire process. I'm trying to, bounce ideas off of him. And he's a great person to bounce ideas off because he's very real, very honest. And if he doesn't like something, he'd be like, not so much. So he's supportive and helping me to want to fulfill my dreams, but he's also pushing me to be better at what I'm trying to do here, and pushing me and challenging me with the financial aspect of things and the marketing piece of things. So he's just been great with that regard. And my family, my parents, my sister, they're amazing. I mean, it's almost like when I told them that I wanted to do this, they're like we knew that this is what was going to happen. So everyone in my life has been extremely supportive and have been pushing me and challenging me in that way.
I'm really glad for that, because I want to share more stories. People like, hey, I told my spouse, and they're like, great. I told my family, and they're, hey, this is great.
Right.
You know, there's for some reason they think entrepreneurship is this crazy thing, and it's like she you know, you could say you're blogging and you're sharing this movement of positivity. Right. Who could be against that, right? So I always want to encourage people. I'm like, this is not a solo project. This can be a team project. This can bring others into your life.
Exactly.
So with society kind of swinging that way a little rough, with things kind of being harsh, have you found any like pushback from people? Or have they been like, well, that's, you know, get that out of here, girl, you know?
Right. Yeah, definitely. There are some people that I might have had to delete a comment because they're not really understanding where I'm coming from, or like the what ifs, or but what if this happens, and that's fine. And then if the comment happens, I'll send them a quick direct message. Say, thank you. You know, I appreciate your opinion, but this is a positive space. And if you want to come back to my page and share some positivity, I'm all for it. But the negativity is not welcome here. And that's just what I have to do. And I mean, even with the book, I think not so much pushback, but just more people just questioning and wanting to understand my perspective and where I was coming from, and yes, wanting to help, but just more questioning and trying to get a better understanding of how they can move in a better direction.
So I definitely am going to pick your book up, because I go to a very mixed church, but there are several people who've adopted, young Black daughters and young Black young men, and they're kind of in the sea of this one part of town that's very white. And I always go, you have to be able to see what this child's seeing, right? Like, what are they experiencing on a daily basis? Because you just don't know, right?
Right.
So I definitely want to grab your book for that, because I want to be like, slide that to them.
Exactly.
Just saying. I've had people just walk up to me at my church and be like, what do I put on her hair? I'm like, I literally just found out how to do my own hair, man.
Right. Exactly.
I go on YouTube.
We have to figure this out
together. Practice. So yeah. So I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. I had another one. What about growing up with your parents? What was it they were doing or seeing that you think kind of guided you this way? Did they work a particular place? Did they,
Well, honestly, the one thing that I can say about my parents is they were definitely a team. There wasn't one person that I noticed doing all of the housework, or one person, doing like just one aspect. Like, they both really worked hard together to make sure. I have a younger sister, to make sure my sister and I got to where we needed to go, had food on our plates, had clothes on our backs. We got to basketball practice when we needed to get to basketball practice. But they really worked well together to make sure my sister and I had whatever it is that we needed. So I think that teamwork was just really great. And the whole idea of modeling behavior, my mom is just the most amazing person, because she, like, you look at her and she's just so calm in any situation. Like, even when I told her, Mom, I have cancer, she was like, all right, God will work it through. You will be okay. And I'm just like, all right, so okay, sure.
Oh, on the inside, you're a little bit like,
right. But she was so calm, and she said her little prayer, and she's my grandmother. They said their prayer together. My grandmother. So she's just very calm and collected. And my father, like, he's definitely more outspoken. I speak about them a little bit in the book, but they just work so well together, just making sure that we had what we needed and that we were happy. So yeah, that's what I saw every day. So
you're in Virginia. Have you guys always kind of been in the Virginia area? Have you?
No, I'm not in Virginia. Now I'm in, my family and I live in Norwalk, Connecticut.
Ah, okay. You went up. So where are your parents at? They're like further.
My parents are in New York. They live in White Plains, New York, which is close, which is like 30 minutes away. Thank goodness, because they have help with the children. So they're close, and which makes it great because they get to see the grandkids and they get to see us
I
often.
like that. See, anytime I interview somebody who's from up north, I'm just saying, I'm from up north, and they're like, "Are you calm?" And I'm like, "What's happening here? What are y'all doing up there?" Yeah, because usually anybody I bring from up north, New Yorker, they're like, "Wow!" They're like, they're on it. So anyway, so I'm glad. I mean, and I was gonna complain about the weather being like 55 degrees, but I won't, because I'm in Texas, and we're freezing to death.
Right, exactly. No, you're good right now, right?
Okay, so where can people reach you? Go ahead and tell our audience. I don't want to keep you all day, but go ahead and tell our audience, where they can reach you. What are some things they can reach out and talk to you about?
Yeah, definitely.
Throw that book up.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Hold the book. Yeah. For the Quiet Black Girl. Thank you so much. Is available on Amazon now. So you just type in For the Quiet Black Girl and it will pop right up. It's available for hard copy and for Kindle. And you can also purchase it on my Spit Honey site, www.spithoney.com. And you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram if you just look up Spit Honey. So I'm really excited for this movement and excited for this interview and excited to see what this is going to bring to our community and in the world. So I'm looking for positivity.
Yes, man. I expect to see you on some radio stations in that Connecticut area, in the local college. They need speakers all the time.
Yes.
So thank you for your time. I love bringing like all kinds of people onto this channel and kind of showing people the possibility of like one person can really make a difference.
Exactly.
You're writing this book, you're talking to people, you're kind of changing the tone on the internet, whether you realize it or not. There's a lot more people like, we're going to speak up for positive. Yeah. So thank you for your time. And look, when you get that next workbook out and that other book, I'm ready. There's a positivity workbook here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate this.
All right. Thanks so much.